Good morning, friends. Welcome to June vlog number 2. Yay! We'll see if I can actually keep this going for an entire other week. I'm not that great at remembering to vlog if you're new here. So, anyway, let's just jump right in. Oh, by the way, I'm Rainy. If you're new here, hi, welcome. If you've been here before, you will have known that I am participating in the June Journeys with Inklings readathon that Kaylee over at Luminous Libros is hosting, and also the Red, White, and June readathon that a bunch of people are hosting, and I'll link everybody down below in my description. So I realized when I was editing my vlog for last week that it wasn't very Red, White, and June heavy. I started Washington A Life by Ron Chernow, but I didn't really do anything else with it after the start of the week. And I read a lot for the Inklings readathon, but didn't really, move on from what I was reading to do any Revolutionary War kind of things. So this week I'm going to try to be a little bit more Red, White, and June heavy with my reading. So that means that my car read, meaning my car audiobook for to and from work and anywhere else I go, is going to be Washington A Life. We'll see how far I can get to it just listening to it in my car. Probably not far, but we'll see. I do like to speed audiobooks up a little bit, so that might help. So I'm only on, I just read the prologue last week, so I need to, get farther into it if I have any prayer of hope of finishing it in June. That's probably very far dream, but we'll try it. We'll see. So other books that I have on the go are my Adam Graham buddy read. I'm used to saying readathon now. Buddy read. This is by Margaret Oliphant. It's one of her earliest novels, and I have been reading this with my friend Joe, and we are almost done with it now. We're on book 3, which like section 3, and it's really good so far. We're really enjoying it. So we just started the 3rd section yesterday, so we'll see. It's labeled changes, so I have a feeling, obviously a lot of things are going to get wrapped up in this last section, so that ought to be good. And I also am trying to read poems by C.S. Lewis for the Inklings readathon. It's going okay. I'm just not a big poetry person, but I'm going to try to read this entire collection by the end of June. We'll see. I will fill you in on if there's any poems that I actually understand and enjoy. So far, I don't understand most of them. They're all a little too brainy for me, which C.S. Lewis does have that effect on me at times. So he's a little too brainy for me sometimes. And then also for the June Journeys with Inklings, I'm going to be continuing with the Silver Chair. This is part of the Chronicles of Narnia. And I think I only read the first chapter towards the end of last week, so I need to get farther into this. And then also for the Red, White, and June readathon, I would like to start, I think, my Spark of the Revolution audiobook. So that might be like when it's quiet at work or when I'm cross-stitching, which I didn't show any cross-stitch last week, so I'll have to do that this week. When I'm cross-stitching at night, I will listen to that as my audiobook. So, all right, so that was a 5-minute intro. So I am going to go finish getting ready for work, maybe do some stitching, but I'm watching some YouTube this morning, so I probably won't read anything until I get in my car to go to work, and I will listen to Washington. All right, I'll talk to you at some point. Okay, bye. Have a lovely day.
Part 1. The Frontiersman. Chapter 1.
Well, hello. It is now Friday, so it's been a few days, and I'm in a little bit of a rush because it's almost time for work, but I wanted to come on here and give you a little bit of an update on what I have been reading this week. So I left my coffee a little bit far away from me, so hold on one second. Okay, so in my car on my way to work and home from work and anywhere else I go, I have been alternating between Washington A Life by Ron Chernow and Spark of the Revolution by Sophie Moha, I believe is how you might say her name, Moha. But yeah, I've been alternating between the two of those, and they're very different. So it's kind of nice whenever I don't feel like a kind of, heavy, not heavy. What's the word I'm looking for? Drier, maybe? Nonfiction book. I can turn on a semi-light Christian romance, and that's been nice. So, Washington A Life, I think I am on chapter 5. And we're just kind of going through Washington's growing up years, and even like before him, his history, his parents and grandparents and all that stuff. And we're now into his adult years, his young adult years. He was a surveyor at one point. He started getting into politics in Virginia. They called it something. I don't remember what it was called. But they just described him as a very, very like put together, at least on the outside, fastidious, goals driven kind of a person, which you would expect from a president, I would assume. Very ambitious, that kind of thing. So, and he had a very tough, I guess, upbringing. He didn't have a father. His father had died. His mother was very stoic and rigid and expected a lot. I guess they just didn't have a good, like a close bond growing up. Or, in later years, it was just more of like almost like a business kind of relationship between the two of them. So yeah, it's been very interesting, but it's a biography, it's a nonfiction, so it's like not super exciting or anything. So whenever I'm kind of tired of listening to that, I have been turning to Spark of the Revolution. It is the first book in the, I forget the name, Harbor of Spies, maybe. I'll put the series down below. But it is the first book in that. It is a Christian romance, perhaps kind of a mystery. I think it's more just classified as Christian romance. But we haven't really gotten into the romancy part of it yet. It's a very quick read, but the chapters are very short and I'm listening to it, so it goes really fast, but we haven't really gotten into any of the actual, this is going to cover the Boston Tea Party, I believe. And so right now we're following Patience, who is a new immigrant from England. She came over with her brother. Her mother has died, and her father is a shopkeeper in Boston. He had moved over there, presumably to bring them all over eventually, but there's some tension around that, whether he just left or whatever. But the brother is bringing Patience over to now live with her father, and they get some surprises from him when they get there. And now they're just kind of observing the tensions in the colonies and centered around this tea tax, and the father being a shopkeeper and selling tea from England is slowly causing some tension, even within his family. So yeah, we haven't gotten to the real like Boston Tea Party part yet, but I have a feeling that that is coming. So yeah, it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, and then also with that, I'm just continuing with my buddy read of Adam Graham by Margaret Oliphant. That's been really great. Um, just, the writing. I'm usually not like oh, this writing is really superb. I'm not that way. I'm here for the story. But the writing in it is really great for an early work of Margaret Oliphant. And just the story, the only part of the story so far that was first person was the first section. There's 3 sections, so we're on the 3rd section. Actually, we should be done. Actually, today should be our last day, but we had to skip yesterday for some things that came up. So we should be done Saturday with the book. So I will come back on and talk more about that when we actually finish it. So I don't know if I'll finish anything today because tonight after work, I am going to a street festival called Jeep Fest. um, and I don't tell anybody where I live, but Jeep Fest, my town, is known for being the birthplace of the Jeep. So we have a big Jeep invasion, it's called, and like people from all over the country bring their Jeeps and they line the streets in my downtown area. And then they have a parade up to a park, a lake farther north from us. And they spend, I guess, presumably the rest of the weekend doing their Jeep thing. I don't really know because I'm not into that part of it, but I like a street fair. So, and on top of that, a new restaurant slash brewery is having their grand opening tonight. So I hope we can get in to at least sample a beer or two. Yeah, because that's very exciting. There was a brewery in that same building for a while, and just mismanagement and all that stuff kind of sadly went out of business quickly, or suddenly. So we're really happy that another brewery has taken it over to give some life to our downtown. And yeah, my friend and I are really excited to go and hopefully get in, or at least see it, and hopefully sample a beer. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know how much reading is going to get done today, but I will come back at some point this weekend and update you, and hopefully I'll have at least one finish, maybe 2. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migration hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriate.
Hello, friends. It is I coming back to you to finish up this vlog and tell you about my one finish of the week. Yay! I finished Adam Graham by Margaret Oliphant. This was a buddy read with my friend Joe, and this was really great. I loved it so much. It was kind of like a family saga, all centered around the title character Adam Graham, and we start off when he was a older man, and we kind of flash back to his youth, and then we kind of progress forward to kind of where we started at the beginning. So, and this follows Adam from when he was a child to then a teenager at school, and his friends that he meets there, and then like just they're going off into the world, and kind of Adam somewhat gets left behind, and all his friends go off into the world or have drama that surrounds them, and then it all comes back full circle, and this all takes place in a town in Scotland called Fendi. I think that's a real place. Is it a real place? I think so. But and then it just all comes back full circle. I don't want to say too much. Oh, and sorry for the lighting figures. As soon as I start recording here, maybe if I can. Nope, I don't know. um, it's nighttime. Hold on, let me go pull my blind down. Maybe that'll help. Okay, yeah, that helped. So, anyway, I don't want to give away too much, but we have a lot. There's a lot of characters like there are in most uh, Victorian novels, but this was just it was a kind of a gentle, uh, kind of a saga type of a thing. It There wasn't like a ton of intense action, but it was a really like a heartfelt novel. You really seem to get inside the characters' heads a lot, and learn about their personal relationships. And it was a book that kind of, well, a big theme I would say is forgiveness. And well, as a Christian, I would say, and this does have a lot of overt religious themes. I mean, there was some, a lot of talk of God and forgiveness and all that. But as a Christian, I would say that this talks about a lot when we think, and I think it even says this in the book at one point. I should have underlined it, but I didn't. That we all think that we have a plan in our lives, or or even we're trusting God's plan, and then something goes awry that makes you, bitter or depressed or angry, that kind of thing, and you just think like you'll never be happy, or you know what is the point, and all of that. But looking back on a lot of your life, you can see God working it out. And if you just kind of trust that He knows what to do. Um, and granted, there's a lot of things that you aren't ever going to understand this side of heaven, but you just, there's a lot of things that when you look back on it, and if you're really honest with yourself, you think, oh, this was why this happened, or He worked this out to work out. Maybe not the reason why it happened, but He worked it out for the good of somebody in that scenario, whatever it was. So yeah, I really just loved that theme in this book. So yeah, I honestly think this might be very close to 5 stars for me. um, yeah, because it was not a terribly long book. The chapters were short. The writing was good. It was pacey while not being like. And you know me, if you've been around here, I like sensation novels. I like mysteries. I like plot. This had just enough plot to keep me interested, but it wasn't like, it was a domestic saga, family saga. So, like, usually I don't typically love those, but this was really, I just really liked this. Anyway, that was my one finish of the week. So I'm still working on the other things I talked about earlier. So we'll see. Hopefully next week I will have another finish. I just didn't like get a whole heck of a lot of reading time over the weekend. So, because as you saw, I went to that Jeep Fest and went out to dinner quite a few times actually. I actually need to go and exercise soon to counteract all the eating out I did. But I'm going to end the vlog here, and I will hopefully see you in the next vlog. Okay, friends, bye.